Evening. What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, or welcome back. Give me a big wave, or if you're not on camera, put a 5 in the chat. Um, Apologies if you've ever traveled international. You know how it is when you get back. It's a interesting readjustment of things. So, as most of you probably know, the last month we've had the most epic Asia tour, and we are back. And it's so great to be back with you guys as well too. And today we want to sync up. We want to have a nice chat as a family, and we want to share and submit some ideas by your guys' leadership, because that's how we view each and every single one of you as our partner. Though for you to raise your hand and actually wake up and be on this call to take your precious time is huge. In fact, one thing I've learned in 16 years of this profession now is if you're ever wondering who should we pay attention to, it's not hard. Like, you don't need a sign in the sky. You don't need an answered prayer, like, God just talking to you in a dream. You just see who self-selects and raises their hand and shows up. And showing up is half the battle. In fact, Ed Milet, if you don't know, who here's ever heard of Ed Milet before? Give me a wave or put a me in the comments. Ed, last I checked, he was worth probably $400 million, probably more by now. But Ed, he made his first millions in what we do in network marketing. He got mentored by Tony Robbins and did so many things, but he's a podcaster. He's a personal development guru now. And what he said is the best ability is availability, right? Just being willing to be available is a very big thing, because what all of us, our biggest resource that we all have, and not enough of sometimes, is time, right? Jim Rohn says you can always make more money, but you can always get more time. So the fact that you show up, and I know who's been showing up, we've been watching and talking with the leadership. We had a great IPA call sync just last week while we were still in Asia. And can we just give a huge shout out and congratulations and thank you to every single one of our leaders that makes this call work, right? Like, wow, from our moderators to our hosts that host the Zoom to our prayer warriors, like, there's so much power in collaboration and community. These are all people that are building their own businesses, but they've chosen to take a heart of leadership and servanthood and say, I want to contribute to the greater as well too. So they don't get paid from this stuff. They're just out of the goodness of the heart saying, I love what we have going on here. I love our community, and they're pouring in. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because not only did they, it's an interesting test, and maybe parents, you'll understand this, but it's kind of like, you're not my kids. We're all brothers and sisters, in my opinion, but when you're in a leadership role, like a parent, or maybe you've had that happen, maybe in school. Who here's ever had a substitute teacher? No one here is a substitute teacher. I'm not saying that, but it's like when the main teacher is away, that's when you can see, all right, how was the community actually? If the class gets, they're pulling out their phones and they're not even tuned in or anything, you can tell, all right, there was probably bad leadership before. But when we were in Asia, even though we're always connected, we just weren't connected daily live on these calls in particular. What we saw was people rising up. And I can go through all the names. Like, I see everyone here on the line, and I don't want to leave anyone out. But many people have gotten promoted, for example. Who here has either gotten some type of promotion this last month, or you've helped someone get promoted in this last month? Right? We were talking with Gwen, for example, and I had to shoot out a message. I was chatting with Danielle yesterday. I'm like, where's this Gwen coming from? Because it's your name everywhere, right? Vanessa Fielden is also one of our newest IPA moderators. She just accepted that invitation. And not only just went vice president, but she helped one of our teammates go vice president, Nikki. She is now an officer, guys. Come on. Vanessa, I got to bring you off mute real quick. We're going to have you up for a call later this week. But tell us raw feelings. What does it feel like to know that you achieved officer? That means in a week, your paycheck was probably like 2,000 plus. Like, you do that every week. That's a 6-figure income. That's a top 1%. And that was one of your missions to go through. But tell us real quick, Vanessa, how does that feel? What's going through your mind and heart right now?
Put me on the spot. How does it feel? Yeah. Um, yeah, it feels good.
How it should feel.
Yeah. I mean, getting Nikki, the one thing, and then because we were sort of texting back and forward, I never told Nikki any of my goals
Mm,
because I never want anyone to feel responsible for my goals. They're mine. And I wasn't going for officer, as you know. It was like, oh, I hit VP. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can go for senior. Oh my God. Oh my God. Days later, it was senior. And it's like, I could do officer. And it was that kind of, it just evolved. And my goal was officer by the end of the year. As you know, it
mm,
wasn't that sort of quick, but I don't know, I just had a mindset shift in the past 2 weeks. And so seeing Nikki was like, that was as I was proud of anything as seeing her
mm.
going up as I was even for myself. It feels
Huge. Massive congrats. And who here would love to hear the full story or even get people in front of someone like a Vanessa, right? So we'll talk about a new schedule this week, and there's going to be a fire call that we're going to do together. And it's also big what Vanessa did is because Nikki was on her power line. So it's not like for officers she necessarily needed to help Nikki go get promoted, but she got herself promoted and she got her teammate promoted. And it's like, wow. So huge congratulations. And I see in the chat, for example, I see we have a new director. Is that right? Like, that's crazy, Darlene. Huge congrats. A new manager with Brenda. Come on, let's go. I'm just seeing all throughout the charts. I've been chatting with Allison and her team. Like, she's getting to a place where her team is duplicating. And it's like the good problem to have now is how do we read reports and how do we strategize and how do we get everyone to the next level? I know. I see Hawaii. You guys have been hearing the Hawaii team pulled together. Guys, they have an event that's still 3 weeks away that has over 50 people confirmed. Like, that is nuts. Like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. New officers. Yes, Jody and Mike Garner. Like, let's go, right? In San Diego this weekend, we're doing an event in Murrieta. So I know we have a leadership that's pulling together. So there's just everyone stepped up. And that's really the biggest thing. And I was speaking with the leadership as we were reflecting. And what's our role? I know that one of the biggest things that can hold you back is honestly me. And what I mean by that is I like this game that we play. Who here just loves transforming people's health? You love helping other people. You just love what we have going in this community, right? And I just like to do as much as we can because I just love what we do. Like, it's just too fun, right? We have a business that allows you to go around the world and allows you to still be able to grow, you know? So, but I know that if we don't, we're in a phase now that we need more and more people stepping up. We need more and more of you knowing that you have gifts and talents to serve to your people, but also serve to the community. And as you do that, and as we're better together, it is beautiful what it is that is born. One thing that I've been really focused on personally, and that's why I've been focused on the millionaire mentorship a lot, because we need the next layer to be developed. We need the next officers to be found, like a Vanessa or a Jody. And we're averaging, by the way, one or two senior vice president and above promotions in this millionaire mentorship group right now in this last month. And it's wild what's going on. There's another officer that's wrapping up as we speak. Like, it's crazy what's happening. So if you're not yet a part of this and you want to be a part of this, I'm curious, put a me in the comments below. It's meant for everybody to be a part of and to drive your people into too. You just have to be ultimate and then enroll two partners that are activated as well. So um, join us. It's going to be a lot of fun because what we want to provide are certain things that'll help you take your business to that next level. I'd be remiss to mention all of our amazing moderators that have been leading these calls. How much value have they poured into here? I've been watching the chats, and whenever Kelly Smith is training, she had her green, yellow, red um, mindset shift and action step. And it's just like always being able to just take things to the next level. Like, so just everyone, just thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You are our people. You're the crazy ones that want to do something significant and impactful with your life. And from that, what's in our minds is how do we help you bring everything to the next level? Right. I think leadership, a big part of it is obsessed about how do you help your people win? How do you help your people do things better than you ever did before? And as we've been reflecting, I just want to give a piece of a story here. If you followed any of our travels, it was wild. Like we were not expecting to go travel. Who here, by the way, on your vision board has goals of traveling more? You know, we have the Maui trip. I know that we can win. We have so many different things. And if you've been following our story, what you might see is this year, we've had the extreme fortune and just so grateful. We've literally traveled more in our baby Jaden's first year of life than my first 30 years of my life. This trip was not on the agenda. In fact, around a month or so ago, someone asked me, they're like, James, how does it feel? Are you ready to just be back home? I'm like, yeah. And then we got an invitation from Partner Co to go speak in Macau for their China PXP. And then we're like, well, we really want to go to Japan. They're having a PXP. Can we just go to Japan too? They're like, sure. Why don't you just do both? Like, all right, well, if we're going to go to Asia anyway, might as well tack on more. And what started with no trip became almost a month in Asia. And we toured Hong Kong. We went to the Hong Kong office for Partner Co, which was amazing. Vanessa just went there. We went to Macau, which next year's PXP is actually back in Macau, which if you've never been to Macau, it's what Vegas should have been. It's beautiful. It's awesome. You know, not even for the, you know, parties or anything. It's just a new place that's inspiring to be at. We went to Tokyo for their PXP. And we also went to Kyoto, did a little bit of sightseeing over there as well, too. And I have to tell you, the biggest thing that we were thinking about on this entire trip is we're like, how did we get here? And how do we help encapsulate that so that you too can win as well, too? And I know that when you see that type of a thing, I just have to keep on reminding us, it wasn't too long ago that things were dramatically different. Is it okay if I'm a little bit vulnerable here with you guys today? If you know in our story, we had built our first business with the drops and built it to multiple six figures. And then we lost everything in 1 year. It was horrible. In fact, it was to the point financially, we were so drained. We were $12,000 a month in credit card debt. I don't share this publicly too much. My family doesn't even know, but your family, right? I had to declare bankruptcy in that time. And we let go of everything. If you know, in an Asian household, biggest shame. Like literally people commit suicide because of those things. And it was one of those times when I remember we're like, we're done. We're burnt out. Who here's ever been in a place with your goals and your finances where you're just like, it just seems impossible. It's just too stressful. I know, especially with the holidays here, holidays are exciting, but they're also stressful, aren't they? You're thinking about the gifts you want to give. You're thinking about, should we travel? Should we not? You're thinking about, how do I be as generous as I can be? But we still have to be realistic in everything. And I remember we had just given up. So we made one last trip. And I think it was after this trip, we were about to throw in the towel to this network marketing thing. And we were out in Bali. It was to celebrate our 30th birthday. And we're just like, let's just have fun. And then after that, we'll go figure out something else to do. And what happened was this. That trip ended up inspiring us. And I share this story because inspiration is important. I want you to think about, why are you building this business? What's in it for you, your family, those that are around you? What do you actually want? And I remember what happened is I have a good friend of mine who we went to college together. We were in the fraternity together. And he became very successful. He built a company, sold it to Square, if you know the card reader, for millions of dollars. And now all he does is he literally just travels and eats, and he travels all over the place. And I'm like, must be nice. He was there in Bali with us. And I asked him one day, I said, his name is Jason. What happened? What got you to be where you're at right now? How did things click? And you know what he said? He said, well, James, there was a day that I went on vacation and I loved it so much that when I came back, I said, I want to live a life where if I want to, I can always be on vacation and travel. The day that turns your life around. Have you had that day yet for you of decision? Have you had that day yet of reckoning for yourself? Where you draw the line in the sand, like a Vanessa did when the leadership shift happened in the revolution. She came back and she said, you know what? I'm doing this for me, not for anyone else. I know that there's a six-figure blueprint and I am dedicated no matter what to hitting that. And she was able to do that. And she's out in Bali and Thailand and all these different places. It's like crazy, right? But whatever it is that you're going for, have you drawn that line in the sand? Maybe we need to be reminded. And I hope that through our story that reminds you of what you're looking for as well too, because I'm telling you this, that conversation changed my life for forever. Because I said, if he can do it, why not us? If other people can live their dreams, why can't you? Who here is willing to adopt that mindset? Give me a wave or put a yes in the comments. And what happened was it took the excuses out of my playbook because here I was, pity party. I was dejected. I was rejected. I was just really in a bad place. And I was ready to throw in the towel of this dream. And it was because I realized there was another way. In fact, I've noticed that usually the moments of decision happen when you feel like you've lost every single other option and you have that decision pivot point, right? We were talking with Tammy, if you know what's been happening with Tammy and her family, crazy. But to see Tammy still step in and step up and still lead the charge, despite going through probably one of the most crazy personal things in her family, has just been incredible to watch. Attitude comes before the results. Does that make sense, guys? What is your attitude going into this holidays? And I bring this up because when we left that trip in Bali, we made a decision and we allowed ourselves to dream one more time. We said, all right, this trip we were budgeting, this trip we were ready to throw in the towel. But what if we could live a life that if we wanted to too, that we could travel however that we wanted to, no budget. If we want something, go do it. Who here would live a life where budget doesn't exist? Right? That's not to say you're going to squander things, right? If you hang out with us, we're very frugal, we're very wise, but where you just eliminate financial stress. Because who here agrees there's greater things in life to worry about than just money, right? Let's go help more people. Let's go change lives. Let's go help out your family. Let's go do other things, right? We have a business that if you do right, we have a blueprint, we have a system, we have a company, we have products, we have a comp plan, we have a community that if you make the decision and you focus in for a certain period of time, everything can change for you in just 90 days. We were talking about Vanessa and Becky's really good at tracking. Did you know that Vanessa got 6 promotions in 8 weeks? That's 2 months, right? Katie, you're right. We haven't even scratched the surface yet. 90 days of a decision with committed action can change your life. And what I was thinking about is, all right, what's the next 90 days like? And the next 90 days are going to be the best days ever. We're still going to finish the year strong. We made a commitment to double people's paychecks by the end of the year, which is already happening. But who here knows there's still more time on the clock? Who here still wants to end this year with double your business at the very least, right? There's holiday plans. There's Black Friday coming. There's a lot. We're catching up on all the leadership stuff and all the corporate stuff. And we're going to be giving some really cool things very soon, right? But if we're to think about what changed everything, community changes everything. I want to share a tip that we realized in our business on how you can make these holidays the best ever. When we started making $1,000 a week consistently through our business, I know that's a lot of your guys' goals. When that happened was holidays. Some people say holidays are slow. I would challenge that. I believe holidays could be your best months yet if you play it well. But you know what we did was this. We focused on building the community and we got them around the campfire. Because this is what happens. There's going to be a lot of promos that happen. Who here knows, even if you don't know what the Black Friday specials are, I'm still getting all the details. But who here knows and trusts that Partner Code is going to have an amazing Black Friday sale for all of us? Yeah, like they will. They've been thinking about this since last Black Friday. They've been great. All right. Holidays. Just expect these things. They're going to share at the right place, the right time, and we're going to move on that for sure. But if you know that, then the key is this. The more people you have around the campfire during this time, when a promo is dropped, If you have 5 teammates, you 5x your business. If you have 10 teammates, you 10x your business. If you have 20 teammates around this campfire, they're plugging into the IPA calls, they're doing the daily do, they're around this. When the promos get shared, then what's going to happen is you're going to see how your business and their business amplifies. You want to make sure that you get people around this. We have a couple weeks until Black Friday hits. It should be the last week of November, around November 23rd, 24th. It's going to be a week long. And they're going to have some really cool promos, and it's going to wrap into Cyber Monday, at least in the States. Australia and New Zealand has some really good ones as well, too. Everywhere around the world, they're doing it. Okay. So what do we need to do right now? How do we get this community even more fired up? Right now, we have 65 lines, which is awesome. Congrats. But does anyone else do this? And you look at the lines and you're doing your own count, right? Oh, where are we at? Where are we at? Okay. And the lines have been good and consistent, but who here knows that consistency and stability, that's the killer to growth, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. So we need this community to grow. Who here agrees that if we get people around this call, that their business and their lives are going to change, right? Just to get them around the campfire. Who here is grateful that you don't have to be the one yourself to constantly fire up your people, but you can leverage something like this, right? So one of the biggest secrets, we're going to pour in everything. We're going to give the best ever, is getting really good at being obsessed about how do we grow these lines? How do we get people around this campfire? And just let the process work itself out. That's what happened in the holidays. We built our community. We got them around the campfire. I wasn't the main guy, but I was somebody that took ownership of my business. Another thing that I saw when we were gone is there were some of you that took your leadership to the next level. When we stepped out, you stepped in more. You said, "Oh, I love you, James. I don't need you." Great. That's what I heard from our IPA call. Great. That's the best thing to ever say, because this is your business, right? This is your life. We're just collaborating. I just want to be a partner with you. But if you lean and you say, what's my team doing? What's my business doing? Who am I serving? I know Darlene's thinking that way with Gwen. I know that. I know she's obsessed. And that's why results are starting to happen. So getting people around this campfire will help you then amplify. So here's a challenge and here's the goal. I believe in the month of November, we can double these lines and we can easily have 100 plus consistently. Does anyone else feel that's possible? Like, for sure. And how many of those are going to be from your team? How many new faces are coming, right? Who's going to be the next story? Are you going to have that line in the sand like I did in bowling and say, enough is enough. I'm done with my pity party. I'm going to go grow something. And it wasn't that long later that life completely changed. Your income can change, your lifestyle can change, your zip code can change. Everything can change when you make a committed decision and then you start taking different action. Okay. So here's what we want to submit to you guys. We had an amazing sync with our IPA call moderators and hosts and prayer warriors. And we asked them, hey, you guys have been in the field. You guys are watching. What has been going well and what can we do better? And we took some really good notes down. And I appreciate everyone for contributing to that. And what we came out with was an idea of a shift in a schedule that I think is going to be extra intentional and help you grow your business even more. We're always a fan of how do we do the least amount of time out of your day so you can spend time on what you need to do. Different seasons call for different things. Okay. We're in a place now. We don't want to overload your schedule with so many calls all the time so that you can do your own stuff, right? I've been seeing the Harpers lead their own drop talks, for example. Awesome. Like, we want you to start doing your own things. Shanna Burks, I need to ask you real quick. Shanna, can you unmute yourself real quick? I've been watching her promote. She's been collaborating with local leaders, and she did a drop talk with people around in Partner Co. How did that go? What was that like?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I don't know, like, I didn't know this woman. There was an acquaintance who's also in Partner Co, another woman that I really don't know, but before PXP, she reached out to me because she wasn't going and said, hey, there's this woman, can you give her a ride back from Dallas? Because we drove, Barb and I drove, and I was like, okay, sure. So this, never met her. I did, again, so these ladies don't even know each other. This is what's so strange. They're just total strangers. Partner Co is the only common factor. So the woman who rode back with us, she has an incredible drop story, like just transformation in her health. And on the way back, she's very excited. And like, and she is a stay-at-home like caregiver for her mother-in-law who lives with them. And like this woman doesn't drive, I guess. Like she's kind of to herself, very, very like just goes to church, takes care of her mother-in-law, and that's it. Well, she's like, we should do an event. And she's really excited. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, let's do it. Cause I think it's a great idea. James said, go for it, collab. So she asked me her name is Juanita. I'll call her. Yeah. Juanita asked me to find a venue. And I was like, okay. And I had a couple in mind. And I said, well, and she had reached out to Todd Rowland. She met him at PXP and had his cell phone number. So she was texting him. And I said, okay, well, secure the leader and then I'll lock in the space. And she sent me a voice memo. I can't, they're busy, she was really defeated, but I just left it at that. I'm like, okay, and then I was busy doing my other things. Then she messages me and she's like, I have a venue. I have leaders coming in. I have this. She did it all. And I was like, okay, so all I did was bring people. I brought like 8 people with me.
8 people?
Yeah, I wish I would have had more. I mean, I wanted 20.
Wow.
But it was the same day as another big event. Yeah. And so the people that would have maybe come were busy getting makeup and, all the things for the event later that day. And, but I was happy that with the people who came. And so I donated some things to be raffled, but it was a really good event. And it was Mike and Lisa Guidry. Mm-hmm. Those were the leaders that flew in.
Yeah.
And I had never met them before, but they were very nice. And they were like, oh, Becky and James. But it was an incredible turnout. It was really good. I'm happy. And now she's like fired up. She's like, let's do it again. We're doing it again. And
let's go. Did you get any new customers and partners yet from that? Or
one new customer, but she's already interested in being a brand partner. And I connected her with Kelly on Saturday. Yes. After the event.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Shanna, congratulations. That's what I'm talking about. Way to take charge and just collaborate and make it happen. Can't wait for the next one. We're going to have to send Kelly out there soon. We're going to have to do a Texas trip. Like, why not?
That was my question to you, because I know, and it's funny because like, bless her heart, Juanita's like, okay, Todd Rowland, I have his number. I'm texting him. And I'm like, but me being me would be like, I would never ask James and Becky to come out here. Kelly, I could probably ask Kelly. She would definitely come if I asked her. But I'm more hesitant to ask her that favor. But when you have somebody who's like Juanita, who's just completely doesn't have that awareness of somebody might be not want to do it, that doesn't occur to her. She's just texting. Mm-hmm. That is like, Gina Hallmark's kind of that way too.
Yeah.
It's a personality trait, I think, and it's amazing. It's a blessing. I'm not that way, and I wish I could. I'm trying to be more like that.
Yeah. It's a good tip. So here's the question, Shannon, to everyone. Question: if you guys had someone in your team that was committed to bringing at least 10 people to an event to go do something, and they were in your business, who here would be interested in supporting that event somehow? Right? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So that's the mind state, which is, oh yeah, of course.
Got it.
Yes, for sure. So on that note, here's when it comes to, I love that you shared that, Shanna. It's so important because I think there's these unsaid barriers that limit us where it's like, well, can I do this? Can I not do this? Guys, it's your own business. It's your own life. And just like Juanita, or just like Peter in Hawaii, they say, I want something done. And then when you say you want something, go figure out who needs to be around it, right? Some of us might be like, well, I need some support. Great. We're always down to support. But here's what I think. If I'm going to put something on, what would I need to do for it to be so obvious that people need to come? That if I invite them, it's not even a favor. It's like, it's in your best interest to come because we're going to go blow this shiz up. Like that's the mindset right there. Peter Ho did just that. We've been talking about Hawaii for years, but it took somebody to make a committed decision saying, we're going to go do this. I'll tell everyone here, by the way, I'll throw this out there. If you want me at an event, if you can get 50 people in a room, we will figure it out. Like, that's just my standard that I tell people. So Peter knew that. He collaborated with a couple people, and like Fran and a Winter and a Dory and a Sean, like they're getting together and they already have more than 50 people confirmed with a couple weeks on the clock. But the leader makes that decision to say, we're going to go do something. And then they figure out, who do we need help from? How do we get that? All the other stuff will come together. So to answer your question, Shanna, that's how you can do it. So yeah, challenge is do something, bring someone like a Kelly in the mix because she's right there. If it's crazy, let us know too. Like whatever, we're down. We are so down. Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome. Who here would love an event in your locality, by the way? Give me a wave or put a me in the comments. Like just start. Just figure it out, right? You don't need permission. Just go do something, right? And then as you start to move forward, you're going to see how resources just start to fly your way. You make a decision, you start to grow it. The right people come, the right resources will come. We'll always figure it out. Be that leader yourself and step up there. Awesome. We do exactly, Jessica. You just figure it out. Remember, I did my very first own presentation after only seeing one other presentation done. I had no help in my first drop talk type of an event. It was with my own family, and my dad was super negative, so I was scared out of my mind. But because I made the bold, committed decision, $1,000 was sold that very first event. So you don't need to be a chairperson 5,000 to do an event if that's what you want to do. You just have to say, I want to go do it. Okay. So really, really good. Sheila said, Teresa and you are working on a drop talk. Let's go. All right. So let's talk about then, how do we bring this community to the next level? Mindset, attitude, you know what you want. You're making that committed decision yourself as a leader to go change things. And then what do? Well, in this call, we love all of our IPA calls, okay? But how do we make this as efficient as possible so that we don't drain all your time so you can go do those things that we just talked about? All right. So we want to submit in this phase, as we're going through the holidays, a updated schedule. All right. We'll have this up in the groups and everything. But how does this go? Monday through Friday. Monday, IPA call. And these will all be IPA calls, just each one has a different purpose. Monday will be like a motivation Monday. This will be a mindset piece, for example. Who here loved or heard or you missed the Breakfast of Champions call that the Harpers and their team really led, right? So thanks, Danielle. Danielle, shout out to her. I don't know how she makes things so beautiful all the time. She just spits out organized information, just like she like wakes up and organization comes out of her mouth. You know, I have bad breath. She has organization. So Monday is a piece where we'll have people talk about mindset and strategy and all that type of stuff, right? Mondays, we also want to have, Kelly's like, why don't we do a power hour, right? Why don't we have time to go kick off the week? Why don't we go send some messages and go do some stuff, right? So we'll do that. Today, we're just kind of laying out the land, but we want action so you can kick off your week, right? Tuesday, no morning call in the States, but Tuesday, if you know, we have our onboarding call at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. But our onboarding call is always focused on tactics. And we've had many of you lead those calls, Kelly Smith, Tammy Egbert, right? So these calls have been, Pam Middleton led one the other week. These calls, we want to always make sure that they're very specific towards skills with onboarding our newest teammates, but also we can use those as opportunities to do very specific skills. For example, one top of the mind skill that I know people want is, how do we expand on social media more? How do you be like a Katie Garner, if you've been watching her story, and start to generate cold market leads to start to come to you, right? So there's things that we can talk about on that. Wednesday will be a formal IPA call. So we want to hear from you. What's working Wednesday? Because one of the best things about this call is hearing from you on what you're doing, because those epiphanies change the game. So Wednesday, we'll do an IPA call and we'll funnel that into that 1 day a week. So we have just so many stories that we can pick from, and we can be very specific so to make sure that you're always getting what's hot off the press. Thursday, another ask was this. Katie Garner said this in our sync. She said, I need to get in front of more people, basically. Does anyone else feel that way? Or like, I just need to go talk to more people. Like, how do we do this? I want to go do a presentation. I want to go collab on that. Well, Thursdays in the evening time, so it won't be a morning, but it'll be evening in the States, will be a presentation day for prospects. And we'll always have great testimonials and great speakers. We'll have a drop talk some days. This Thursday, we want to actually do a business presentation. The last time we did a drop talk a couple of weeks ago, that was for customers primarily. This call this week, who here wants some fired up teammates that take action, right? So we want to drive that. And there's a very specific format we can do business presentation that anyone can do. It's in our boards, but we're going to have Katie Garner speak. We're going to have Vanessa Fielden talk about officer, right? We're going to have, I'm missing somebody in my brain. If I called you, let me know. There's another officer that I just talked to. Yeah, Thursday, no AM calls. It's just the PM so that we can go do that presentation. Gosh, my brain just, not Jody. We're going to have someone else. Who did it? Oh, Winner. How do you forget Winner? Sorry, Winner. If you know Winner, she's a closer. She's been onboarding a bunch of new teammates on fire. So she's going to talk as well too on Thursday as well. Thursdays also, if we do it as a community, I'm down to do a giveaway on a Thursday for prospects, right? So you can leverage something. So we can always promote some type of call as well. And then Friday will be a fantastic Friday. What is that? Recognition. I love the stories. Testimonials. This is the day that we're going to celebrate our community. This is also the day that we can do things like breakout rooms. Who here wants to connect with more people within our community? That's been a favorite. I do it in Millionaire Mentorship, but I haven't done it too much in our community here yet. But you could be on your Zoom screen sitting next to your next best accountability partner, your next best friend, your next person that you might need when times are good or times are bad, right? So Friday, we want to celebrate, we want to recognize, we want to do all of these cool things, all right? So that'll be in the morning. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same typical time of IPA calls. Tuesday, Thursday will be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, we'll always also have a different webinar link. So prospect-facing calls have a different link than this one. Why? We don't want hackers to come on. And we don't want you to have an unpleasant experience. It just happened too much where it's like, don't even risk it. Yeah, we want you work hard to bring your prospect on. So we want to make sure that they get a good exposure, not other exposures, but a good exposure to our community and our business. No hackers, 100%. Okay. This also allows us to have different time zones, right? We have different people in different parts and some people work at different times and all of that. But this way we can hone in. Also in the Millionaire Mentorship, we still have on a Wednesday in the States. In the evening time as well too, okay? So how does that sound for you guys? That's where we're consolidating efforts. We're making sure that we're all doing what we need to do. Okay, so I'll propose something as well. And what's our action step leading out of this? All business is conversation. All business is conversation. Your next customer, your next partner could be just one conversation away. And I love that we have a system and tools in place to do that. Even though we were traveling, we were still enrolling new customers and new partners every single week. On the Uber drive over, I prospected the Uber driver. There's people everywhere. We just did a giveaway in Wellness 360. Congrats, Sheila's prospect client just won that one. And what I noticed is that when we give a giveaway, for those that get into the machine, we do a giveaway every month on the drops. So on that, I made a post the other day that we're going to do a free giveaway on these drops. Here's one assignment for you. I don't know if you've done this yet. Here's the one in Drop Revolution. Who here, by the way, is loving the Drop Revolution? You're just loving all the things that are in there. I'm seeing people get amazing results. So thank you for Danielle and all the leaders that are pouring into that. Like there's just so much that we can leverage there, right? So we did this monthly drawing. If you noticed, we had 142 people like this. Sorry, 71 people like it and 142 comments. Odds are good that one of your prospects or customers are in these comments. Here's an action step for us today. Go through this post in both the Drop Revolution and Wellness 360 and go see if anyone liked it or commented it. That was your team or your prospect. And reach out to them. Hey, I noticed you commented on that free drops giveaway. I know, unless you were the person that won it, sorry it wasn't you, but do you have any questions about the drops that can help you answer? Like just follow up. And what you might find is like, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go. This is creating buzz for people that are out there, right? If you're down to do that assignment, give me a waiver, put a me in the comments. Like very simple. I need to do that today, personal prospecting, because I'm like, this thing blew up. If you see your friend, like the comment, hey, I'll reach out to you. Let's send this back up into the algorithms so people can be excited about that. Okay, so we have that. Second call to action is this. I believe we can break 100 on this line. Tomorrow night for our onboarding call, we are actually wrapping up. Danielle put together a really good idea for some giveaways, for some fun, for some promos that can set us up for Black Friday. Okay, so we're dialing that in. We want to make sure whenever we bring something to the table, it's vetted out, it's agreed upon, and we drive it. Promotions don't do anything unless leaders drive it. So we're vetting that out today. And what we want to do is tomorrow night on the onboarding, we want to launch that Black Friday Blitz. Okay. But what we also want to do is I want that to be a celebration community day. So I want to do breakouts that day. I want to do a giveaway that day. I want to have some fun, like just celebrate with our amazing team and also drop the next promo that's going to happen so we can run with our hairs on fire out of that event going into the holidays. This is your opportunity to go back through your team and say, who can we re-engage? Who can we bring into this mix? And who can we drive a free giveaway? We'll get a flyer out there. We'll get posts out there. And then to hear about the new promos as well too. Your next leaders could be found in that call specifically. Okay. So Tuesday evening, we're going to have that call and let's bring our people together and let's celebrate. Let's connect. I'm going to need your help, by the way, for you coming onto IPA call to share the culture with other people. I'm going to need you to bring that fire that we all have and share it in your community. You might be leading one of the breakouts and you might have new people around that don't know exactly how to connect. Well, step up and we need you to be that fire for them. Okay. How does that sound, everybody? Is that cool as a starter game plan? And then we'll run into these holidays. We'll make sure your holidays, not just next year, but this year are completely different. And remember, it just takes one decision to change your life. If it can happen for us, I have no idea how it is that we're even where we're at right now. It can absolutely happen for you with the right place, the community, the systems, the tools, the company that's exploding around the world for you to be able to do this. All right. So with that, Danielle, Kelly, did I miss anything? Danielle.
Yeah, I was just, hi, welcome back.
Thank you.
And whoever said they didn't miss you, I don't know. I think we've all missed you. So welcome. We're so happy you're back. So there is a post that I did too for the giveaway when we did 2 different posts in both the Drop Revolution and in Wellness 360, asking people, to tag or say admin. There's a lot in that too. So there's 2 posts for everybody to check to see if you know anybody in there that were interested. So just wanted to add that in there.
Perfect. Thanks for that reminder. Many opportunities. So go through that and there's a lot. Yes. Awesome. Cool, Danielle. Thank you. All right. Well, hey, glad to be back. I'm here as a partner, as a friend. I'm here to co-labor with you all. Let's go run the most amazing next month and end this year strong. Okay. With that, we're going to end with prayer. So if you want to linger for that, absolutely do so. If you want to hop off, we honor you for doing that. We got Miss Denise that is going to pray us out today. Denise, we'll throw it over to you.
All right. Oh my gosh, this is so good. You're fired up, James, and the fire is hitting all of us, and I am loving it, and I'm loving the schedule, and everything about today has been amazing. Motivation Monday and mindset. I just love that to start our week off. It is perfect. And I gleaned a few things from just what you were speaking, and part of it is when you said inspiration is important. What inspires us? So many things can. And what inspires me the most is the stories and hearing from our leaders and hearing from our family members here in Partner Co. of what is happening in their own businesses and what they're doing. That really inspires me to shift my mindset and helps me to see a vision of I can do it too. I can keep going and doing the do. And that attitude really does lead us into the results that we want. And I'm just so grateful for the expectation of what is going to be happening going forward here and the events and all the downloads that we get from God to be able to do what we do best, and that's to love and serve. And that's what it's all about. And so, thank you, Father. As we go before the Father today, as we ask God to just continually show us those opportunities and to utilize all the goodness, the tools, utilize the events, utilize the IPA calls, to be able to come together in unity and be able to strategize and brainstorm and use what has been given to us is just awesome and priceless. Of what God can do through us is great. There is greatness in each one of us. We are great leaders to be able to go forth and to be able to help every single person that we come in contact with. That one person, that one conversation that we have can explode into multiplication. And we just thank you for that, Father, because you are a life giver and we carry life in us. We carry light in us. We carry the things in us, Lord, that help people transform and make them well. And that is the goal, is to love people and see them come to a time in their life where they are receiving that transformation in their own lives. And what a great, great thing that is for us to see and to be a part of. Building relationships, building our teams, building it with so much gratefulness already in us is what's going to lead us to continued greatness. So we thank you for that, Father. Thank you for every open door today, tomorrow, the rest of the week. Thank you for those that you're putting into our life, into our realm, into our sphere. Thank you for helping us go out into our community and meet those that need you, that need a change in their lives. Thank you, Father, for all the things that you give us. And we are so grateful for it. In Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Woohoo!
Amen.
Amen.
And
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James. So exciting.
Welcome home. Glad to have you back.
Blessings, everybody.
James.
Hey
Have a great
everyone.
week.
Thank you.
Thank
You're all
you.